Hey YouTube, my name is Jonah and I've been playing disc golf since August, and I decided I wanted to start documenting some of my rounds. I recently played my first tournament and I'm currently rated 847, but I performed pretty poorly in that tournament, so I'm hoping that over the summer that number goes up. Today I'm playing the first 9 holes of Griffin Park in Norman, Oklahoma from the Red Tees with a couple of my buddies. But before I get into the video, the first hole and a half I accidentally recorded vertically, so the video quality should improve after my drive on hole 2. I hope you all enjoy, and please leave me a comment if you'd like to see me play more courses in the area or have any suggestions for the way I format the videos. Thanks! Getting into hole 1, it's a pretty tough starting hole. You have to keep it low at the starting trees, and there is a mandatory at the beginning where you have to go to the right so you can't swing out in the field. And it pinches up to a pretty fast screen here if you make a mistake on your putt. So I'm just going to take a flat forehand T-Bird 3. It's my Halo T-Bird 3, my favorite disc. And I sneak it down the right a little bit, but I end up being fine, kick off the fence, and I'll have a pretty short little uphand flick here. Leave it a little bit wide, but it comes back and sits on the side of the hill, so I'm not too worried about it. Leaves me a tap in for my par. Hole 2 is quite a bit longer, but it is wide open straight out into this field. So really all I'm trying to do off of this tee is get it as far down as I can with as strong of a forehand as I can manage, and hopefully that leaves me just a decently short upshot and then ideally tap in a par from there. Managed to get a pretty good flick on it down the right, but it's gonna fade back and skip in towards the basket. It leaves me, I think I had about 80-90 feet here for my upshot, and unfortunately I just give it a little bit too much gas and end a bit down the hill, and that doesn't give me a great putt back for par, so I'm gonna have to settle for a tap in bogey here on hole number 2, putting me at +1 for the round. Hole 3 though is a lot easier for a lefty. I can pull my backhand. You just have to make sure that you're getting it up and over that first little section of the hill, and you don't want to go to the right. The forest is pretty thick and sloping downhill there, and past the basket is a little bit of a depth putt because it opens up and you can really roll down that hill. On my drive I ended up sawing it off a little bit, but thankfully I was still pretty near the top of the hill, and that allowed me to make in an easy, short backhand upshot and tap in for my par. Hole 4 is one of my favorite holes on the front 9. You have to keep it out here on the left, or those trees on the right are gonna mess with your way into the basket, but you can't see the basket from the tee pad because it is slightly down this hill, and this green is fast. If you mess up that shot on your upshot or even a drive, you can really quickly get to the bottom of the hill. Again, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my backhand, so I saw this one off, and I'm going to end up just over here on the right side of the fairway, and that's going to leave me with a pitch up that slides down the hill, and I have a putt up for par, but hit the cage and have to settle for yet another tap-in bogey. So now I'm at +2. Hole 5 is another really cool hole here at Griffin. It'd be the dream for a lefty turnover shot that kind of fades back into the gap. But I'm just going to play to this wider portion with a hyzer forehand because I'm definitely forehand dominant at this point. But as you'll see, I throw it a little bit too far and not high enough on the line that I'm on. Thankfully, between my friends and I, we never use the 2-meter rule here, but that's about what we're looking at to the basket. This upshot should be pretty easy given the gap that I have, but unfortunately here, yank it just a touch and it goes right into the tree. Thankfully, it's not as bad as it looked from the video though, and I'm able to tap in for par. Hole 6 isn't necessarily the most interesting hole in the course, but I do like it a lot because I birdie it frequently. It's just a big forehand hyzer shot for a lefty, and you'll see me pull my Z-Star Force, which is that blue disc that I've been throwing almost every hole, and nick a little bit of the tree on the right, but not enough to take much off of it. And I pull up here to about 40 feet. It was just a bit outside of circle 1, and I'm able to knock it down for birdie. Hole 7 is cool. It's actually a double fairway hole, so you can take a left or a right gap. I always go right with a forehand, and I'm just trying to put it right between these 2 trees here and take a forward skip up towards the basket. This drive felt pretty good coming off my hands. I was able to keep it low because the right side branches there are actually pretty difficult to miss, but touched a tree on the way through, and pitch up was a little short and wide. Tried to get a little creative with this camera angle on the putt. Was able to knock it down, take a par, and stay at +1. Hole 8 is probably the signature hole of the front 9 of Griffin Park from the red tees, because you have this really cool hill that the basket is sitting on, and there's this wall of logs in front of it. So for a lot of people, you're just trying to throw a shot dead straight into the logs, and if you can get it to sit there, it's an easy 2. Or if you're a shorter thrower, you can throw your second shot in and make a safe par. I got really excited about mine because I thought that I had made it up on top, but was just on the side of the hill and was able to knock it down for birdie. Hole 9 is a tunnel shot out of the gap, and you just want to throw it straight at this split tree right here. If you can get it to the left or right of it, that'd be perfect. You can get a skid up to the basket. There's a little bit of water long, so you don't want to overcook it too much though. I get a nice little Annie coming out of the hand, and that force is so overstable that it's going to come back to the left just about every time. I caught a gap actually directly through the split tree and slid up just past the basket and tapped in for my birdie. So that puts me at 1 down for the front 9. And as I said before, I hope that you enjoy watching me play a little bit of my disc golf, and I'm mostly documenting this for myself, but if other people continue to be interested, then I'll maybe try out some courses that people are recommending, or if you want to see me take on, another course in the local area, that's always easy. Or if you just want to see me play the back 9 here, please let me know. If you have any other feedback, it's always appreciated. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.